Hello there, Star Wars fans. Welcome to Star Wars News. And sorry about my voice. I've actually been under the weather this whole week, and this has been the best that it's sounded so far. Alright, so this episode's name is Battle Scars, and this is a reference to not only the physical scars that the troopers have experienced, but also the emotional scars that we will see them reflect on throughout this episode, knowing that they can lose their individuality and there's nothing they can do about it. This episode begins with the Bad Batch running from the Rokai, which they have just stolen iguana-type lizard from. And currently the Rokai are not listed in Legends or canon, so more than likely they are being introduced to this Star Wars world. And Ryokai does have a Japanese meaning of consent, so it could be that Rokai name is a play off the Japanese word because they are trying to get back what is stolen from them. Now back on Ord Mantell, Wrecker and Omega celebrate the mission being over with some Mantell mix, which appears to be similar to what they serve at Galaxy's Edge. Now in regards to the tradition of the mission being over, I'll come back to that later. And back at Sid's bar, a hooded character ends a fight with the bar patrons, and it's the same hooded character we saw in the hologram at the end of the last episode. Once confronted, the individual removes his hood to reintroduce us to Rex. Tech mentions that Rex is listed as KIA by the Empire, meaning that he's a ghost. Omega examines Rex and says that he's a Generation 1 clone because of his wrinkles, which would represent an older Jango Fett. The Bad Batch mentions that their chips haven't been removed and that all of them were immune to the effects except for Crosshair. This puts Rex on edge, and it looks like we are about to get a gunfight. Rex explains that even though the Bad Batch are immune, that if the chips are activated, there's no way that they can control them, which sends Rex in a reflection back to the events when he was being controlled. Wrecker begins to have headaches again, and Rex tells him that they must leave ASAP. And the Bad Batch arrive at Bracca, which is a ship scrapyard and first appeared in Jedi Fallen Order. And in the corner we see the Y-Wing that Rex and Ahsoka used to escape the Venator, and as the Bad Batch pass through the wreckage we see a Hammerhead Corvette. We also see some Scrapper Guild guards, which also first appeared in Jedi Fallen Order. And while navigating the wreckage of the Venator, Rex mentions that Five tried to warn him about the inhibitor chips. And if you don't know who Five was, he was an ARC trooper that went to oversee another trooper named Tubbs on his way back to Kamino after his chip malfunctioned. Five then learns that his friend died because of the chip malfunction and proceeds to remove his own chip, later discovering that all the clones are embedded with the chips, while also discovering Order 66 and Chancellor Palpatine's involvement. And while trying to warn Rex and Anakin Skywalker, Fives would later be shot by Commander Fox and a squad of shock troopers. While navigating the wreckage of the Venator, a Dianoga grabs Wrecker, and this is a callback to A New Hope's Death Star garbage compactor scene. The Bad Batch use the medical bay on the old Venator, and Wrecker goes Order 66 when Hunter mentions they were able to save the Padawan. When cornered, Omega can't pull the trigger, and I thought we may see her use a force ability to escape, but Rex stuns him at the last moment. Wrecker gets his chip removed, and once he regains consciousness, Omega says the mission is over and gives Wrecker some Mantell munch. And this could be a callback to how the chip makes all the clones say,
The mission, the one in our dreams,
whenever they die. At the end of the episode, Rex is on the comlink saying he'll meet someone at the next rotation.
Copy that. I'll meet you at the rendezvous by the next...
And I'd have to believe this is Ahsoka. It seems that Rex doesn't trust the Bad Batch fully yet to tell them who she is. He then disappears in the fog like a ghost, but not before Hunter says,
Captain, if you're ever in a bind, you know how to reach us.
Finally, some Scrapper Guild guards spot Hunter and warn the Empire. So as we saw in the trailer, we are going to get an episode with the Empire fighting the Bad Batch, and it'll probably be Crosshair's unit hunting them down. And as for Omega, I'm starting to think that she's not a clone, but a host. And the Kaminoans could be tricking her into believing that she is a clone. And in this episode, we see that she mentions that she doesn't have a chip. And in the very first episode, we see her standing overlooking the clones, similar to how Jango Fett was in elevated status. Also, why would the Kaminoans hunt down a clone to use as a template? So let me know in the comments if you do think she's a clone or not. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a like. And if you want more content from a lifelong Star Wars fan, make sure you subscribe. May the Force be with you.